Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Douglas Home of Mine Show. I'm Georgia Henderson, Public Information Director, and I'm your host. On today's show, we're going to hear from some community organizations to find out what they have coming up, so stay tuned. We'll be back with more Douglas Home of Mine right after this break. We're back from break, and joining me on the show today is Mr. Jerome Levins, who is the commander for the American Legion Post 515. And as if that does not keep him busy enough, he is also the Wreaths Across America coordinator for Coffee County. Welcome to the show today.
And thank you for having me, Georgia. And it's always a pleasure to come in here and talk and hopefully get some information out about what we're doing.
Well, and what you're doing is something great. And the first thing we want to start talking about is Wreaths Across America. If you would just tell everyone what it is, what is the goal, and what is the mission of the program?
Well, Georgia, I tell you, it's an outstanding program. It's Wreaths Across America is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Is observed the second and third Saturday in December every year, all across the United States and 24 foreign countries. The national goal is to put wreaths on all our veterans' graves at our national cemeteries. But our goal is to put flags and wreaths on every veteran's grave of Coffee County. And I say of Coffee County because we have veterans buried across the land, and there's some cemeteries we take them for that purpose.
Right, and I know you've done an assessment. I've heard you speak of this before. How many cemeteries have you identified in Coffee County that you all service?
Well, we started with one in 2014, and then we increased the numbers in 2016 with over 700 at the city cemetery. And then last year we did 52 cemeteries and increased to 56. This year is 59 cemeteries, and we're identifying 2,400 veterans.
Wow, that was going to be my next question. So your goal, you're trying to get 2,400 wreaths this year.
Yes,
okay, so when will the ceremony be held, and how can people get involved to donate for the funds that you're collecting?
The ceremony will be held on December the 16th, starting at 12 noon at the Douglas City Cemetery.
Okay.
And anyone can donate, and we love not just to donate money, but donate some of your time. Come out and help us place the flags on December the 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. And also during that time, we ask them to wear our Wreaths Across America t-shirt, which you can go to Ultimate Graphics to get one.
Okay.
We need that. It's $12 depending on your size.
Okay.
So we need folks to do that. And just call me, or I got some cards been out. Send donations to American Legion Post 515, P.O. Box 2094, Douglas, Georgia, and identify the cemetery and the veteran's name. That would do it.
Well, you definitely have not just now got started with bringing awareness to this. How many years has it been since you all have started this program in the community?
Since 2014, but in 2014 we started just for a program for our Veterans Honor Guard. Then I decided I'm gonna go read a little bit, and I started reading. And I found out it's a way to honor our veterans. And then I got some members together and said, "Hey guys, can we do this?" And I talked to Post 18, and they said, "Yes, we'll jump on board." And so since 2014 to now, we've increased every year.
Wow. Well, you do a great job publicizing. I think our community is kind of getting used to this program now, and I certainly hope everyone will get involved and contribute, because as you have stated, you're trying to get 2,400, so that's a lot of wreaths. Yeah. Tell us how the program works, how they get shipped here and the process.
Okay, this started just as a project by a young man, Morrow Worcester, when he went to visit Arlington. And then he grew up and had a company, had extra wreaths. He had started sending those wreaths to Arlington Cemetery. And then some volunteers got involved, and transportation, on and on and on. Now, every year in Maine, a convoy of trucks the world's largest veterans parade, they call it. Start out in Maine and headed toward Arlington Cemetery, and then they branch off and go to all parts of the United States for this program.
Okay. So you not only need the monetary donations, you need volunteers too.
We sure do. We've been blessed, I think. Each year we met the goal, and we've had lots of volunteers, especially last year at the city. We expected to be there half a day, but in 2 hours we had over the 700
Wow.
wreaths at the city. Folks just came out and.
How about in outlying cemeteries in the county? You need more volunteers for that?
We do, and we have individuals at these cemeteries either have some ownership in the cemetery or just volunteer to go help us put them out. But we need more, and not just more, we need people that has ownership in the cemetery, like a family member, because the program Remember, Honor, Teach. Remember the veterans that are gone, honor those that are serving their families. But the teaching part is take your children to the cemetery, help them see their veteran loved one,
Gotcha.
and pass it on so they know the sacrifices made.
All right, and if someone watching today and want to sign up to be a volunteer, they could call. You're going to give you a number at the end.
Well, I'll give my number, but the easy thing to do and you get most information is friend me on Facebook, because
Gotcha.
I keep all that posted when we're going to do whatever, or call me at my number. I'll give it now, 912-592-6413. If you don't do Facebook, I text when time
Gotcha.
to do stuff to everybody that's involved.
Now, is that your personal Facebook page or just the American Legion?
No,
have a
that's
page?
my Facebook page.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So you mentioned about the flags, Pearl Harbor Day. You put those out as well. Is that right?
Yes, we
Or
put
Veterans Day. I'm sorry.
No.
No.
Veterans Day is we remember the living. Memorial Day we remember the deceased. But Pearl Harbor Day, and there's a reason for that. When we put the flags out, we identify all the graves. Some are not marked. They don't have the military markers. And before I forget, if you need a military marker, Google VA form 40-1330. You can get it and go and order a head military marker for your loved one.
Gotcha.
But those that are not marked, we go ahead and put flags on all of them. So when we
Okay.
get the wreath, we can go on and put wreaths out.
Now, do you need donations for the flags as well?
That's all included in
All
the total
included.
amount that we come up with as far as what we need this year. And
Where are you with that goal?
Our goal was 37,380, and we're right now at about 33,200 plus.
You're almost there.
Yes,
Getting there.
We got a couple more outings, but been a few places, and I've been told we're gonna send you money. And if we should go over, we did go over last year. We'll put that in the bank and save it and start next year with it. Because
Okay.
everything we get when we identify a fundraiser, Reef Across America, that's what it's for. Nothing else.
Okay. And again, to just sum that up for everyone, just share with everyone again how they may donate.
Donate by sending to American Legion Post 515, P.O. Box 2094, Douglas, Georgia 31534. Or if you just want to call me and we'll link up and we'll get it. We have sponsorship forms, or if I need to give you a receipt, because everything you donate is tax deductible.
Right.
So if you would, but you know what? When most folks have told me, I take that back. All of them have told me, I don't want a receipt. I'm
I
donating.
just want to give.
Yes.
That's great. That's great.
But we do need some schools and churches to get involved. You know, we got a few, but we need them to get involved and help us.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to rally everybody up, and we certainly hope those organizations are listening and would contribute. Now, is that a deadline for everyone to submit the applications back to
Yeah.
request a wreath for the deceased veteran's grave?
Yes, by November the 15th, we need it so that I can compile that which is left remaining and get it to national in time to get our wreaths here on time. Because, you know, I didn't fully answer the first question you asked me is, we don't know exactly when the wreaths are going to arrive. Anywhere between December the 7th and December the 16th. But people have been so good when I send the email or the text or fax it out, by the time they show up.
Okay. All right. So once you sign up, just be ready to go whenever he
That's it.
texts you. Well, I know you all have other events coming up. You just had your President's Commanders Ball this past weekend. So you want to do an overview of that? How did things go? Sorry I missed it.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. I believe it was just a total success. That's our first one, and we're going to want to do this annually. And
Great.
the Commanders and Presidents Ball, that was. I mean, I just love it. We had, I would say, estimated 250 plus people.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the big large gym, I was almost full.
Well, a great time to
So-
dress up and go out and support a worthy cause.
Yes, but
Any other upcoming events you have?
yes. on May 7th of next year is the anniversary of our post for 70 years. We're going to plan to do a anniversary for that, so we'll get started planning on that. But the near future, December the 10th, we're going to feed veterans at the Ware Center, free of charge. It's a veteran and one significant other. Oh, by the way, the city and county leaders are invited and encouraged to attend. Educators, the leaders of our school systems are invited and encouraged to attend. We need to show the veterans that, hey, we love you, we support you, and appreciate what you've done. So come on out. You eat free also.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And that's December the 10th. But then December the 12th, we're taking comfort items to veterans at the VA in Dublin. And we're going to do a Veterans Day program with them also. We feed them, take items. We need donations for that.
Define what are some of the comfort items so we can be on the same page.
Socks, T-shirts, pajamas, sweatpants that they wear around. Men and women, let's don't forget men and women there also. And, you know, cards, stamps, letters, just off the top of my head, you know. But the other laundry list, again, that's on Facebook. And it should be in the paper, but if not, it's going to be there real soon.
I know it will be.
There's some drop-off points, too.
Okay.
Ultimate Graphics is one. Wendy's Bridal is one. Fire Station number 2 on Cherry Street. And every Tuesday from 3 to 7, someone will be at post at 1510 McLean Street to accept the donations. And we'll pack them up by the 7th of November so that we can head out. And we'll leave Central Square, gym area, 9 a.m. that Sunday morning. You're welcome and encouraged to come to that too.
Well, you all stay, like I said, busy. Any other events before we close today?
Well, we always do the Thanksgiving and Christmas baskets for needy, and we're going to be in a Christmas parade. But we just want to say we thank the public for all they've done and continued support to us. And there's one thing, the theme of Reef Across America, it says, I am an American, yes I am. I am an American, yes I am. And for those that don't understand what I'm saying, that I will tell you in August 31st, 1970, I raised my hand and said that, and signed that blank check that's up to include death. I'm proud to be an American.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't know that was the motto for the Wreaths Across America.
This year, I am an American, yes I am.
Year?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Last year was say their name, but they get a motto each year for them.
Okay. All right. Well, we thank you. Before you leave, again, give the contact information for everyone. So then if you would look into that camera and tell everyone, this one over here, how to get in touch with you and find you on Facebook.
Find me on Facebook by just friending Jerome Loving, JeromeLoving, or just call me. Cell number 912-592-6413. Let's do it before 10 o'clock at night and after 10 o'clock in the morning because I don't rest.
All right, Commander Loving, thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take a break and be back with more Douglas on My Mind right after this break. We're back from break, and thank you for continuing to watch Douglas on My Mind. Joining me on the show now is Terry Jenkins, who is the director of the American Red Cross of South Georgia. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here. I know you all, the Red Cross is so vast in the services that you provide, so we'll just try to skim it down. And if you would, just share with everyone today kind of just what is the purpose of the Red Cross and some of the services that you provide.
Okay, I can do that. The Red Cross, we provide provide services to families and individuals that have been affected by disaster, floods, fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, and then some, as we say. And we are there to provide an immediate need. And people give us a call when they've been burnt out by fires or affected by the hurricanes, as we saw most recently, and we spring into action. When we are notified that somebody needs our help, we send our volunteers to that situation and respond. We open up shelters if we need to, evacuation shelters, or sometimes people that are not in a house or a mobile home that is deemed safe. During the most recent hurricanes, again, as we saw, the shelters are really open for anybody that might have a need to stay there. And we cover 20 counties, and so we have strategic plans in place all over the 20 counties, working with city and county officials, with the local emergency management agency and other faith-based organizations and community partners.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it about 20 counties, because I meant to start out with that question. Can you kind of map-wise tell us how far over and across you go with
Okay,
those 20
operations
counties?
office is based in Valdosta,
Okay.
and so we, of course, Coffee County, we go down, in a circle around Waycross, Charlton and Ware counties. We go a little bit north to Telfair, Wheeler, and Wilcox, and kind of swing around Alma, go west to Thomasville, Cook County. I think, but Douglas is probably considered in the middle, in the middle of all of our 20 counties.
Okay, all right. Now, what non-traditional programs or services do you offer that people maybe traditionally don't think of?
Well, there's a lot that a community can get involved in. We have a Veterans Outreach program that in the last 2 years, Veterans Outreach has been a big initiative. We have many youth programs with our Pillowcase Project, where we go into the schools and educate 3rd to 5th graders on the importance of being prepared for disaster. It's a Disney program, and they get a pillowcase, and the idea is to generate a conversation that night when they go home to their parents and say, hey, look what I got at school today. And they're told if they had 5 minutes to evacuate, what would they put in that pillowcase? And so the idea is to simulate the disaster and then say, okay, what would you take with you? A comfort animal, change of clothes, a flashlight. And so we have our our home fire campaign, where we partner up with the fire departments to install smoke detectors, smoke alarms, in houses that have a high risk of deaths or injuries in that neighborhood or in that community.
Right, right. Well, I know it's been a while since you've been here on the show with us, so just other than that, the non-traditional things, just tell us anything else Red Cross been up to since your last appearance here?
Gosh.
Just a little bit
Well,
busy, right?
we have been really busy, unfortunately, with disasters, and I think I mentioned before that there's always a disaster season that happens. Currently we are in hurricane season, so hurricane preparedness is something that we try to get the information out. We have our Facebook page, American Red Cross of South Georgia. We post daily information on that. I like to promote the apps. We have 12 or 13 different apps that people can download to stay educated and prepared. We have open shelters. We sheltered nearly 2,000 people recently, with 5 shelters being opened. And so we are constantly looking for volunteers and to help us in that situation. And so we recruit and train. We're busy every day. A lot of people don't think about the Red Cross unless they hear something of a national disaster,
That's
like
true.
what's going on with Puerto Rico or the unfortunate California wildfires. But we are busy responding every other day in our 20 county area to single family home fires. And so then when the shelter need comes up,
Yes.
that's where we need the extra hands and feet, so to speak, to help us run those shelters, sit in the emergency operations center and be a government liaison, help me with public affairs. So I had 5 shelters open and I'm only one person. So I'm looking for a volunteer position, a community volunteer leader, to help me be that voice to the community partners and to the elected officials when I can't be in that specific county.
Other than funding, would you say that volunteers is your next greater resource that you need?
Yes, ma'am, it is. And volunteers 16 and up, we have, opportunities for youth volunteers, and so 16 on up, but just give us a call. You can go to our Facebook page. The operations office is 229-242-7404, and we'll give you the information to sign up and be a volunteer.
Okay. Well, we know we are in the middle of hurricane
Mm-hmm.
season, and you mentioned earlier about the pillowcase program for the youth, in case, someone have to quickly evacuate. Starting early, training everyone. But for the adult mindset, how can we prepare for hurricane season?
There's, again, download the apps. We have hurricane, fire, flood, tornado apps that you can download. There's a Monster Guard app for children ages 7 to 11. If you donate blood, there's a blood donor app. So really, downloading the apps can really help you. If there's a Code Red system here in Coffee County, I would encourage everybody to sign up for Code Red. Follow the page of the Emergency Management Agency. I'm sure Steve Carver puts out information, often, and I would just, follow that information or follow us on Twitter. We have an Instagram now account and our Facebook page. So again, we're posting information daily. Get a weather radio. Build your emergency kit at home or at work. Or at your church, talk it over with your family and design that plan. So if something happens and you have to evacuate, where will you meet in town that's away from, the situation or the area that could be affected?
Right.
There always has to be a plan in place. If a company wants training, we can come do training. All training is free. To a church, to a business, to a school, and I try to also stress the importance of having CPR first aid training.
Yes.
Because sometimes that would come in handy in certain disaster situations as well.
So earlier when we talked, we were talking about when you all open up shelters. If you could kind of tell us the protocol, because I know during the last storm, Hurricane Irma, some people in the community were confused about the Good Samaritan shelters versus a Red Cross shelter, how they operate, the protocol, who determines if the shelter's going to open. Can you bring clarity to that?
I can do that in a couple of minutes. And then, so what happens is that the Emergency Management Agency director, he or she communicates with the officials on the city and county side. This is the way it should happen. They have the conversation and deem the need for a shelter to be open. So once the need has been identified, we get called upon. And so once we get that call saying, hey, we need a shelter open, we spring into action and call our volunteers to see who is available. If we don't have enough local volunteers that are in town and we're able to run it, then other volunteers from other counties and literally across the country. At the Douglas shelter recently, we had people from like New Jersey,
Wow.
Ohio, Kentucky come help, everybody in Coffee County that was here that needed help in running that shelter. So the Emergency Management Agency lets us know, we spring into action. But the idea is to make sure that everybody is on the same page. There needs to be a consistent message going out to the community so as not to create more panic or misunderstanding. So the Good Samaritan shelters, churches or other facilities or businesses can open on their own, but then that's where they assume all risk and liability. And when Red Cross, when we allocate our resources to the identified Red Cross shelters that is determined and agreed upon by the officials in town to include public health and the health department, once those resources are allocated to that, it's really it could be challenging to try to find more resources to provide to the Good Samaritan shelters. And so again, there's a process to everything. So, and that's why we encourage all the faith-based organizations, let us train you.
Yes.
You can be Red Cross trained and still open up that facility on your own, but at least you would have some kind of background and guidance and knowledge that we can provide to you.
That's awesome. So tell us, how are we structured here in Douglas, and what do we have in
Well,
place?
we have our volunteer base is growing. Larry Neesmith is our disaster captain, and he responds to those single-family home fires. And we do have a handful of other volunteers, but there really is a greater need for volunteers, and I can't stress that enough. That community volunteer leader that I'm looking for to help me be the face of Red Cross, go do a presentation, or go talk to the newspaper on my behalf in the event that the shelter is open, and just working with you, the public information officer. And so the volunteer need is great. We've got other programs and campaigns coming up this holiday season, our holiday campaign, where companies, schools, churches can write Christmas cards for the troops. And they've changed the theme of it. It's Holidays for Heroes, where people can write cards for any season of the year, not just at at Christmas time.
Wow,
And
that's
so for
great,
Easter or so a lot of people get into Halloween, or 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. So we have our Veterans Outreach Program, Carnation Project, coming up in a few weeks. So if anybody in town would like to go visit the veterans that are in the nursing homes here, we call it the Carnation Project. We've gotten florists to donate single white carnations, and we go visit the veterans and just tell them thank you for their
That's
service.
neat.
There's really a lot more, and we can provide all that information to you.
And you have a fire prevention month?
Yes,
campaign
we do.
going?
We do. November is Fire Prevention Month, so we have conducted home fire campaigns where we install the smoke alarms. But we work with the fire departments, again, city, county, volunteered or paid, to educate people on fire safety. And as we're going into the holidays, there usually is a spike in holiday fires. And so we just encourage everybody to try to be prepared. Watch the cords on the Christmas trees. Don't leave candles lit. Watch your
Yes.
fireplaces. The ovens, the kitchen fires is a single most reason that a home fire starts. So again, going into the holidays, we just stress education and awareness.
Okay. Well, American Red Cross is very prevalent in our society, and we definitely appreciate them whenever there's a disaster or, like you say, an emergency with a individual home fire or different things like that. You all are always there.
Well, thank you.
To do what you can, and we appreciate that. Any other services, comments to the community before we leave today?
I just appreciate the community stepping up recently to help. That there's a lot of volunteers that just, spontaneous volunteers, what we call them, that wanted to help out of the goodness of their heart, and it was just overwhelming to see the generosity of the community. But to those companies or other churches, if we can help you with training, please call upon us.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for being here today and giving us an update.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll be back with more Douglas Home of Mine right after this break. We're back from break, and joining me on the show today is Joanne Lott, who is the founder and organizer of the Southern Home Vintage Market. Joanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Georgia.
Glad to have you here. It's getting close.
It is getting close.
It's getting
We're
close.
counting down the week setup is in 2 weeks now.
I tell you, I'm glad you're here today so that you can tell us about the upcoming, this is the 7th annual
It is.
Southern Home Vintage Market, but it didn't start out that way.
No.
And I want you to share with everyone the history, because I know you collect things and find things and just love collectibles and stuff. And it started as a hobby, so you take it from there.
It did. Our show, this is the 7th one. We have 2 a year. And it started out as a group of Pyrex and dish collectors getting together and having a swap meet. And we had a swap meet in the youth center, which is a small facility, and it just grew. It grew very quickly over 4 years ago now, until we're proud to be sponsored by the city of Douglas, and we have over 2,200 guests to our market now. We're more than dishes. We're furniture, jewelry, dishes, tools, just anything made before 1980.
Well, give us the date for the vintage market and the location.
Well, it's coming up on Friday, November the 3rd, and then again we'll resume on Saturday, November the 4th. It's downtown Douglas in Central Square Complex in the large gym. That gym is 13,000 square feet, and we have 60 vendors coming from all over the Southeast in 70 vendor spaces.
Well, I tell you, you are very skilled in the way you design the floor plan and lay it all out to use every inch of that floor space.
We use every every inch. It's just actually like a little mini festival.
It
People
is.
come and they stay the day, and we have good food and good treats, and everybody's in a good mood. It's a happy place, and I don't know, I love hosting it, and the vendors love coming, and we have about 30 volunteers from the community, and they're all excited. So we want to welcome everybody and invite everybody to come downtown Douglas.
Well, it's definitely an event that once you attend, don't be in a hurry. You want to take your time, browse around. Before you know it, you can easily spend 2-3 hours
That's right.
in the event. So tell us about some of your vendors. Where do they come from?
We've got some vendors that have been with us through every event, and they come from northern Alabama. Some of our vendors come from Central and South Florida, of course, all over Georgia, South Georgia, North Georgia. When you come, you'll see vendors that you know, and you'll see vendors that you'll know because they have returned every year to participate in the show.
Now you do something very interesting, unique at the beginning of your show. You have an opening ceremony and blessing of your event, which I
do.
think is wonderful. But you also recognize is it star vendors?
Yes.
Tell
We
us
have
about
a
that.
blessing of the event. We start off our event with prayer, and then we acknowledge the vendors that have been with us through every show. And I believe there's 6 vendors this time that have been with us through 7 events.
Awesome. That's awesome. So what's new this year? Anything new? What's been offered? Or can you give us a variety rundown? Because like you said, it started out with Pyrex. So
It did.
I know there's a
We're much
long
more
list.
than dishes. We
Roll it
are.
out. There's
We-
painted furniture.
There's painted furniture. There's natural furniture. There's the old 50s style Formica top tables with the beautiful chrome legs. There's mid-century modern furnishings and whatnots. There's old tools. We literally have vendors this time who have opened up their barns and pulled out barn finds.
Oh, wow.
Old rusty things and chicken feeders and chicken coops, and I don't know. I say every time it's going to be the best show yet, but this time I really, really mean it. We've got about half old vendors, half new vendors, and those new vendors are bringing things that we've never seen before.
Well, that's awesome. So what time on Friday does the event open to the public?
On Friday, we open early bird from 10 to 12, and there is a $5 admission fee from 10 to 12. That's for the early bird shoppers. And then at 12 o'clock, the fee goes to $3, and we continue on Friday until 6 o'clock. And then on Saturday, the doors open at 9 o'clock in the morning, again with just a $3 admission fee, and we go to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Will you have any partners or sponsors you want to thank for helping to make this event possible?
Well, of course, we thank the City of Douglas. We're happy, thrilled to have the City of Douglas sponsor us. And then also the Lot True Value Hardware Store right downtown and the Coca-Cola Bottling Company from McRae are also our sponsors.
Well, I tell you what, this was one event. I can tell you, I have so many people. They call our office and they want to sit down and talk with us about an idea they have for an event. We don't go with all of them, but some of them the city does go in sponsorship with. But this is one, whenever we merge 2 of our festivals together, the barbecue, the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue Festival, and this the outdoor
Yes.
expo, the outdoor expo, we merged those together, and that left a void in the spring. So whenever you started out, that filled the void. And I tell you, you have been a model organizer on how to put an event together, because so many people have the mindset thinking the City of Douglas that we're supposed to coordinate all the community events. No. We like partnering, with those events that we feel is going to draw people to the community, and your event has certainly done that. I know when people come in, you have many guests who stay in our hotels, they eat in our restaurants, and not only do they shop at the Vintage Market, they shop throughout downtown. So it's definitely leaving an impact on our community, economic impact on our community. So we thank you for that. You make it easy for us. You really do. You come in and you're like, I don't want to bother y'all. I'm like, honey, that is the least compared to some of the other events that we do. So I just want to commend
Thank
you for that.
Thank you. I tell everyone it's a match made in heaven. We couldn't be happier partnering with the city of Douglas.
Yes, yes. Anything else you want to share? Those volunteers. You need some more volunteers?
I think we're good on volunteers,
volunteers?
but we always keep a running list because we have cancellations. But our motto is come and stay the day and grab a friend and find the shortest route to Douglas. That your treasure's here. If you've never been, you should really come and see what it's all about. It won't be, if this is your first time, it won't be your last time.
Okay, you have a Facebook page.
We do. It's Southern Home Vintage Market.
And,
it's real easy.
and again, your number or email address if someone wants to contact you.
You could call me 389-2468. 389-2468.
All right, everyone. So that is the 7th annual Southern Home Vintage Market coming up in Douglas, Georgia at Central Square Complex on November the 3rd and 4th. Go to the Facebook page, Southern Home Vintage Market, like it, and just find out all the updates. And guess what? There's previews on there of all the items that some of the vendors are bringing into the show. I'm telling you, it's enough to whet your appetite to want to go. This lady got me started collecting and buying stuff, and I sent her a picture the other week. I'm like, no, I don't need anything else, but I'll be there.
You will be there.
But thank you for coming, Joanne,
Thank you
and
for
I pray
having
that
us.
this
We're
is
excited.
another successful event.
I bet it will be, hopefully.
All right, well, we're going to go and hear a special interview with our mayor, Tony Polk, and the city manager, Terrell Jacobs, is going to interview him about the Douglas Mayor's Youth Council.
Here, City of Douglas City Hall and in our commission chambers, and we're actually doing a special segment with the Douglas On My Mind. Once again, my name is Terrell Jacobs, City Manager, City of Douglas, and I have with our special guest here with this segment, Mayor Tony Polk, here for his second term as mayor. I hope it has been a little bit brighter one this time.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah,
most
good,
definitely.
good. As he has in his office, always shining brightly. Is that right?
Always shining brightly.
All right, good deal, good deal. Well, we're here to talk a little bit about something that's near to your heart. I think you been talking about this throughout the community, so we want to share with the whole community in regards to this topic about the Mayor's Youth Council, and what was the catalyst for you bringing this idea to the forefront. I think you've even talked about it the last term, but we didn't get a chance to get this incorporated. So what was the catalyst behind all of it?
Well, actually, thank you. This has been on my mind for a while. As Mr. Jacobs said, I actually started talking about this during my first term, and there was some teenage violence that was going on. We had a little gang activity, and trying to get the council to understand the youth of today was a challenge. Even with this council here, we run from the ages of mid-30s to early 80s.
Wow.
Well, I would venture to say most of us don't have a Facebook page, don't know what Snapchat is, and these other things that our youth uses. What I want to do is be able to get a unfiltered diagnosis of a situation within the city that pertains to our youth. And I figured that a youth council, having individuals on here, I think it's a 9-member council, ranging from like age of 14, I believe, all the way up through the 12th grade. What they'll do is they'll convene once a month, and they will discuss issues that are pertinent to the youth of our community. I will also be present there so that the youth will have a direct path to the mayor of the city of Douglas. Whereas once we have that meeting, I want to be able to be a unofficial subject matter expert and bring those concerns back to the commission. Hey, I was in this meeting, this is what we talked about, this is what the youth thinks that our community needs. This may lead to us maybe redoing some of our parks or adding something to the parks to help us out, instead of us as a commission saying this is what the youth needs. And one of the things that I would give a parallelism to is my wife Christmas gifts. Tell me what you want.
Okay, this would be a stretch.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Tell me what you want.
Bring it on home.
I don't want to guess at what you want.
I got you.
So I don't want our commission to guess at what our youth want. I want our youth to feel comfortable approaching us, saying, hey, this is what's going on at this location. Hey, this is how I think that we can actually fix this problem. I'm looking for an opportunity for our youth to have that straight path to the mayor and commission. I'm looking for them to identify problems that they're dealing with, to be proactive, to discover the solutions to those problems. And the seriousness of this is over here on our council, we're actually going to have the chairman of the Mayor's Youth Council to sit up here. Of course, they will not have a vote, but we will ask them to have comments pertaining to the youth, to say, hey, look, this is what's going on in the youth, and maybe even have them to be an advocate for some of our city events that are tailored to the youth.
Right. Well, it sounds like you're trying to incorporate the youth in a more front way, so hopefully we can get more insight, because obviously sometimes we hit and miss, as you stated, on different initiatives and programs that we think are valuable for the youth, and sometimes we don't always hit on point. So that's good that hopefully we're going to be trying to do this. I know when I've gone to a couple of the conferences that we have, they actually, some of the mayor and commission bring their youth councils to those conferences, exposing them to some of that. From what I'm understanding, talking with Mrs. Henderson and Commissioner Durham, who I think you've actually got
Correct.
to help lead this initiative, that, you know, hopefully they will get some of that exposure in regards to that they need to see other communities, other youth, and hopefully gain some insight on things that they are doing as well. Are there any other things in regards to this youth council that you want to try to get them engaged in regards to other activities maybe that might be pertinent?
Well, basically, the Mayor's Youth Council is, in a sense, our little governing body for our youth. Where this goes, I have no idea. This is going to be driven by our youth council. I'm going to sit on the board for guidance, to be that listening ear. I do want to incorporate where maybe one Saturday morning we leave here with our council, we get them registered in some classes over there for the GMA, and we have them to write a one-page summary about what they learned. I want to be able to get them involved as far as how the city actually works, the functions of our departments. I want them to be more studious about the city of Douglas, the government, and our role as the city of Douglas. I do believe that they will bring a different set of eyes to some situations, and my biggest job is going to be to listen and convey what that youth council has said. And as Mr. Roper used to tell me when I was the first mayor, my first term rather, he say, look, I'm 70-something years old, you're 40. I'm gonna tell you what they need to do, then you turn around and tell the youth. And that was very effective.
Okay. Well, one of the things that you talked about early on when we started this discussion is I actually at one of our retreat when y'all first came back on board, when you first came back as mayor. Didn't want to focus in some of the the academically promising. Want to have a good cross mix of individual students to pull from, because a lot of times some of those students don't get, shall we say, heard, or they don't always get the insight of information like some of the individuals who are always getting noticed more so in regards to academic or whatever. So talk a little bit about what type of classified student that we're going to be hopefully looking at.
What we're looking at, we do have some guidelines, but these guidelines are brand new. What I want our Mayor's Youth Council to do is be representative of the youth. I want it to be a mixture of Caucasians, Hispanics, blacks, female, male. I want ninth graders in there because they deal with a different set of problems than 12th graders. Need a 10th grader in there because they deal with different issues. What I want to be able to do with our council is for it to be reflective of the people that they represent. sort of like the city of Douglas. We are reflective of the people that we represent. And that's what I want that council to do. And grades are a part, but grades should not be the thing that determines whether or not you're going to be on that board. Because we do want to give a voice to the individuals that may not have a voice.
And I know, hopefully, as these individuals will go through this process of being on the youth council, hopefully the background piece what they can derive from this is they get this civic minded focus that hopefully they'll be good citizens one day.
Correct.
And that's what we want when they hopefully transfer into adulthood, and hopefully that'll help them and carry them beyond that. So is that some of the things? I know you've been trying to work on some different initiatives as far as trying to help foster better citizenship and better understanding of how the city works for them and what issues and things that we need their help with. So,
Well, I think that one of the things is that there's something about this book that I read, Train Up a Child in the Direction That They Should Go.
yeah, man. It is
So,
a book, isn't it?
It is a book about that.
Yeah.
So basically, what I want to do is, as the mayor, I want this council to understand government, to understand that the government is a vital part of your life, and how government is there to not only to protect you, fire and safety, how parks and recreation is important, how public information, utilities, all these things are important. And I think that having a clear understanding, being in the United States Army made me want to be a public servant. And I think that hopefully what you said is that this will be a catalyst for them to go into adulthood seeking for opportunities to be public servants.
I hear Mrs. Henderson's alarm going off. So any closing statements that you want to make in regards to this youth council? And I know it's coming up real soon. I believe applications are being received right now as we speak. Got a lot of great opportunity to expose these kids with. Anything that you want to close and saying?
My closing thought would be this right here. As a youth growing up in Douglas, I had no idea who the mayor was. Only thing I knew was Commissioner Harold. I want to give another level of exposure to our youth. I think this is a great opportunity. I think that this will be hopefully in the same vein as the Navy Junior ROTC. Those young individuals are getting exposure in a controlled, disciplined environment. And as I say, your event is not official unless the Navy ROTC is there. Those young kids are doing a great job, and hopefully the Mayor's Council will be able to also be seeing a trendsetter also. Thank you.
Well, we heard it first. We're going to be a trendsetter, trying to set the bar high. Definitely, Navy JROTC does a great job. Hope we can emulate what they do. Appreciate you being on the show today. These special segments will come apart probably every quarter, I believe, in relationship to let the official come in forth and sharing some of their thoughts and ideas about their topics of concern that they have. Thank you for being on the show, Mayor. And we'll see you next time on Douglas on My Mind.
God bless you.
Before I leave today, I just want to share some announcements with you of some upcoming events within the community. Hometown Harvest is coming up on Thursday, October the 26th. That event will be held on the vacant lot next to City Hall from 4 until 7:30 p.m. This is an annual event hosted by the City of Douglas Main Street office where we do candy distribution. A lot of the resource community resource partners, they're there on that day as well, giving out literature and information. So be sure to come out. This year we have added we have the costume contest, but we've added the family category of the costume contest. So we'll still have the kids costume contest where 50 kids can enter, but we've also added the family costume contest. So the first 25 to sign up will be in that competition as well. So that's Hometown Harvest, October the 26th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. We, the City of Douglas, are hosting a photo contest going on now through February the 9th. If you would like to enter or see the rules, go to our website, download the rules, and we want to see your great photography that you're out in the community taking. All the details are on our website. Don't forget the Haunted Theater, hosted by the Martin Center, is taking place. The weekends that are left for this event is October the 20th. Through the 21st, October 27th through the 28th, and the 30th and 31st. So be sure to go to the Haunted Theater at the Martin Center. Go to their Facebook page for the time, dates, and ticket information. This weekend, the Douglas Lions Club will be hosting the 18th annual Big Buck Contest at Coffee High School Gymnasium. They're going to be giving away over $10,000 in prizes, so you definitely want to go out to that event. Again, full detailed information can be found on the Douglas Lions Club Facebook page. Our City of Douglas residential junk drop-off day is coming up on Saturday, November the 4th from 8 a.m. until 12 noon, and the drop-off location is at what we call the pole yard that is adjacent to on Pearl Street, adjacent to the post office. Just want to remind people that no hazardous materials, no tires can be dropped off on this day. And we noticed that we are getting quite a bit of materials dropped off that seems to be from contractors, people doing renovation projects. For that type of stuff, we encourage you to please take that directly to the landfill and go through that process. This junk drop-off day is primarily for items typically around your home, sofas, general things like that around the home. And residential customers, you have to provide proof that you are in the city limits and a City of Douglas customer, and you can do like one small pickup load or two, and then two small size utility bed trailers. And we just want to remind everyone before we go today that we are now taking registrations for our 54th Annual Festival of Lights Christmas Parade that will be held on Saturday, December the 2nd. And our parade marshal this year, we're proud to announce, will be Miss Charnay Pegues, who is the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Georgia winner of the year. So we definitely want everyone to sign up for the parade. We have registration forms here at the Public Information Office, 211 South Gascony Avenue, or you may go to our website, cityofdouglas.com, to download the parade rules and the registration information. It's $10 entry fee for a non-commercial and $25 for commercial vendors. We want to remind, let everyone know and remind those who have already heard this announcement. We are disbanding, ending the parade at a different location this year. The parade will end at South Georgia State College. So please mark that on your calendar, especially parents who have kids riding on the floats. Whenever you sign up, or if someone else is doing the entry, be sure to get the map. We have the map on our website, and we have the map here at the Public Information Office telling parents exactly where you can park at South Georgia College and where you will pick your kids up. So please note that there's a couple changes in the rules this year. So whenever you do go to get the information on the Christmas parade, be sure to read the rules in its entirety. That's the show for this week. I'm Georgia Henderson, and again, I thank you for watching. And as always, remember to keep Douglas on your mind.